first enter, whether it's some of the situations that Julia described, or that knock on the door when you're trying to talk to someone whose loved one's passed, is to first just really enter in a place of gratitude and humility. And we have a job to do, but I think it's really important to recognize that folks are really giving us a gift by giving us their time and their presence in really some of the most heartbreaking moments that they're ever going to experience. So I should try to simply acknowledge that I'm grateful that people have chosen to spend that time to share that experience that they've been through, which is so difficult, with me. I think, but at the same time, and I like what Randy said about balance, I think it's important to strike a balance when you're being empathic, to acknowledge the difficulty in the moment, but not to claim an understanding that you don't have. So if you've not had that direct experience, I think it's important not to say, I know what you're going through, if you don't. If you have had that experience, it can be acceptable to share that. I think you kind of want to gauge that. But I think it is okay to say, I know this is kind of hard for me to be here, and I imagine it's kind of hard for you, and again, I just appreciate the contribution that you're making to the work that we're doing. I think it's also important, and I really like what Steve, you and Randy talked about in the beginning, to acknowledge that this is not just an issue for people going to conflict zones. That you cover enough fires, you cover enough homicides, you cover enough domestic violence, you cover enough sexual abuse. It can have a gradual kind of a freeing effect where it accumulates over time. And so I think it's really important to recognize that where you are and what you're doing can very well be something that will have an impact on you. So to kind of start from that place of acceptance and acknowledgement. And then the other thing I would say is that it's really important to talk and to try and find, I think it depends on the newsroom. As I mentioned, I was so fortunate to reporter to have an environment where, even though we really dug deep into data, it was a safe place